down.
Well, how do you feel?
I am so happy that is no longer in my freezer.
Well, for a while I have been really feeling the sense of a spirit of death around us. And at this point, we lost our cat, of course, put her down, and we brought the cremation remains of Don's parents to his brothers, and the family will decide what to do with them. At least they're not in our home anymore. And we just finished donating the last remnants of the beef that we had bought from a local farmer. And it was all purchased during the height of the paranoia and fear of the meat supply. It's being tampered with. They don't want us to eat meat. There's a global agenda to get us to all be eating plant-based, factory-farmed meat instead of animal-based. And anyway, out of fear, we do silly things and make decisions that we may later regret. And the biggest regret was the fact that there was a sense of intuition, that still small voice within us that
I was having trouble whenever I ate. I already mentioned this before, but whenever I ate really high fat, beef fat rich diet, my gallbladder didn't tolerate it and my skin would get worse. My flaking, which is that's what the scientific literature shows, that experiments have been done showing that eating diets high in saturated fat bring on or exacerbate psoriasis. So there wasn't, and I knew that, but because we were concerned or afraid that we weren't going to be able to get meat, I mean, we were in the carnivore daze, D-A-Z-E. We bought this amount of meat that was just, it was a half a steer. It was way more than two people really need. I mean, nobody needs any of it, period. But we were trying not to eat that much beef anyways, because my skin was better with leaner meat. Nevertheless, I bought it. I mean, it just shows the...
against the intuition, or that little still small voice that was within you that was kind of thinking, in the very least, we shouldn't be buying a half a cow.
Right. There was this is a illustration of the process of the mind that is well described in Vedanta and Ayurveda, that when the emotions hijack the reason, your intelligence or intellect, then the intelligence can't make an intelligent decision. Instead, it justifies bad decisions. It creates justifications, rationalizations.
And if there's...
It's the ego.
Yeah.
Wants everything for itself.
And if there's fears, not having enough, running out, not having needs met, security fears, won't have enough to eat, then you make decisions from this fear base. It's not in a right alignment.
Which automatically means you don't have faith.
Lack of faith.
If you are living in fear, then you have no faith.
So we've at this point donated a fair amount of the ground beef and even some roasts, chuck roasts, to the assisted living facility where my mom lives, and one lady made everybody a nice roast dinner one day, and they were all happy, and she used it also to make meatloaf. We gave some to a local neighbor vet. And we've donated now for the second time quite a bit of the remains of it to a family services area. And these are people that are in greater need, so it's less about whether they should be plant-based or not. It's at least going to people that are used to eating meat, and they're happy for any kind of donations. They're struggling financially or whatever. So
most people don't realize how much, because we're not taught, we're not educated. And I was among that group. I only really grasped or understood some of this stuff only very recently. So I'm not trying to assert a superiority, only that I recently was enlightened that how much we are driven, or rather than using our mind is using us. That's the best way I can put it right now. The mind, which has not only conscious but unconscious motivations, is taking us for a ride. And we are at the effect of our mind, because no one teaches us how to control the mind. There are people out there definitely who know more about controlling the mind than the common person does, and they are skilled at controlling the minds of the common people to get them to do what they want to do, because they know how to manipulate the thought process. The average person has not been educated in the inner science of mind, so they don't know how to control their own mind.
They're not just trying to control us as to what to do, but how to think, what we think we should have, what we think we need to survive, what we should like.
Right. So,
an expensive lesson.
Yep, expensive lesson.
Life lesson.
But if you want, I just learned that if I want freedom, I have to give freedom, but I also need to gain control of myself. Not something that I didn't know, but I didn't really understand how I was being controlled by my unconscious motivations, and didn't really know how to get a handle on the way that my ego drives me.
We'll talk more about that in the next video. Heading home.